Hey guys, and welcome back to another edition of Burton Ballers. I haven't posted for a few days because it's a bit quiet because of the international break and there hasn't been a lot going on. But today we've had a lot of significant news. We've had the Newcastle takeover, Roman Abramovich has been in London, and Thomas Tuchel has been giving a glowing report about Ruben Loftus cheek. So guys, it's finally happened. Newcastle have a new owner after 17 years, was it, under Mike Ashley? Or 21, how many years was it? 14 years. 14 years under Mike Ashley, and all the pain they've had to endure. They've now been backed by the Saudi Arabians investment group, but it's not going to be Saudi the country. Some people are thinking it's Saudi the country, but apparently the Premier League have received a letter saying that the Saudi Arabia as a country will not be involved. We'll wait and see on that one. Anyway, so what does that mean for the rest of football? A lot of fans at the moment are getting a bit nervous because they feel that Newcastle, with the power and the wealth that they're going to have, are going to be another player trying to win the Champions League, the Premier League, so if they spend wisely, they can be a big threat. But I think that they're going to have to be sensible in the way they spend, because this club, the Premier League and UEFA are going to be keeping a keen eye on them, and they're not going to be allowed to get away with some of the deals that Manchester City made with some of their dodgy sponsorship deals and everything else. Because we've got to remember that Manchester City just got away with what they did on a technicality. So Newcastle have to box them clever, and they've got to be a lot more smarter in the way that they spend their funds. So they're not going to just go out and get a Kylian Mbappe or Haaland, because they're not an attractive proposition at the moment. They're not having any European football, and also where they're located in the northeast. And so it's going to be a gradual build-up. So all those thinking that they'll be challenging the next season or two, think again. If it's done right, the job's done right, again, I think they may be a threat in about 5 or 6 years' time. And 2 former Chelsea managers have been linked with them. Conte and Frank Lampard have been linked. I think, if anything, it'll probably go to somebody like a Frank Lampard, because I don't think Conte would want to take on a project yet. It would probably, as they build, he may want to take it on in a couple of years' time, but this is kind of ready for Frank, somebody who can get in some younger players, coach these younger players. But there'll be a lot of pressure on Frank as well, because he'll be expected to produce straight away. So it'll be interesting to see who they appoint as the next manager. That's if they get rid of Steve Bruce, which they probably will, because they'll probably want their own manager there. So good luck to them, because Newcastle, I've been up to Newcastle a couple of times, and I've also seen them when we're at Wembley, and their supporters, a nice bunch of guys, the supporters, really happy-go-lucky bunch of support, and they deserve a little bit of good fortune after all the pain they've had to endure under Mike Ashley. So with Newcastle getting a rich new owner, that brings me to my next story, which is about Roman Abramovich. So for 3 years, Roman Abramovich has been exiled, not been allowed in the country. But you know what? He's back. He's back visiting family, and obviously he's going to spend some time at Stamford Bridge or Cobham, and just sorting out business. So I think he has a visa which allows him into the country X amount of times a year. So maybe we'll see a bit more of him now. I don't know, but he's here, and some of the papers are sort of speculating, and whilst he's here he can be doing some business and reigniting the Koundé deal, for instance. And another thing what they said is that he may be looking at the Mbappe situation and seeing whether we can prize him away, but you take that with a pinch of salt, because it's just papers just trying to make stories. Because he's back in town, then they need to make a story out of it. So a lot the Mirror has 5 things that he needs to do when he's over here, but I won't even spend too much time on that, because I just think, as I said, it's just a speculation article. So he'll be glad to see Abramovich back at the Bridge in his usual spot in the director's box, watching some games. And for those guys who said 20 years ago when he took over, 2004, or nearly 2004 when he took over, all those guys who said, he's going to get bored. Guess what? He's still here. Yes, he's still here. Right, my final story now is on Ruben Loftus-Cheek. What a story, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, close to being out of the door and at the last transfer window. But you know what? He said, I want to stay and fight for my place. And there's an article in today's Athletic where he's had some glowing things said about him by our manager, Thomas Tuchel. And this is what Tuchel has said. Ruben walked across and Tuchel said something along the lines of, "You are special. I cannot believe you haven't played more for Chelsea." It was a great thing for him to hear. I always had faith in this guy. He was one of my boys when I was watching him in the youth team, and you saw that something in him. He had that. He's that physique, 6'4", powerful, graceful, good touch for a big man, and he was like a Rolls Royce of a footballer. When he was playing the youth team, it was obvious that he was too good for that era, that age group. You saw him one time score a goal, I think it was against Arsenal, where he ran the length of the pitch, beating about 5 or 6 players before slotting the ball into the back of the net. Unfortunate with injuries. He's always had injuries throughout his career, back injury, which stunted his career at the beginning. Then, as he was coming back into it and had his best season under Sarri, then he had that that bad Achilles injury in that pointless trip in the United States, and that put his career back again another season. So then he went on loan to Fulham, didn't play a lot, but he had a bit of game time. So he's come back, and you know what? The easier thing for him was to go out on loan or to go out to be sold on a permanent, but he said, you know what, no, I want to stay and fight for my place. And that's what I say about a lot of the youth players. If you believe in your ability and you say, you know what, I want to stay here, then you can get opportunities. I'm sure that if Livramento had stayed here, the talent that he's got, I'm sure that he'll be playing now. He could have, with Reece James with his injury, there was a couple of times where he could have played, but it's Chalobah the one now who's in the driver's seat, because what I think may have happened is that Chalobah probably wouldn't have played as much. You'd have had Azpilicueta still playing as the right-sided centre-back, and maybe Livramento playing as a wing-back. So there are opportunities there for the youth, or people, the players who've come up from the youth. Loftus-Cheek's not a youth anymore, but there are opportunities for them if they are willing to stay and believe in their own ability. So I'm so pleased with this Loftus-Cheek story, because as I said, I've been one who's been vouching for him for ages. So let's hope that he can play more games. I think he's going to get more game time. He's done it on merit, and fair play to Thomas Tuchel as well, because we've just got in Saul. Okay, we've got him on loan, but he comes with a big reputation. But what Thomas Tuchel has done, he's seen how well Ruben Loftus-Cheek has been performing in training, and when he played him in the League Cup game against Aston Villa, he took his opportunity and he trusted him to come off the bench in the Champions League match. Then he was able to start in the Southampton game. So that's what you get for hard work, perseverance, and belief. So may that be a message, as I said, for all these up and coming youngsters. And it's in their hands. I don't want to hear fans saying, oh, they're not getting a chance, they're not getting a chance. They may not get the chance straight away, because look, some of these guys are leaving before they even turn 21. So, if you show a lot of patience, it may not be when you're 21, even 22, but maybe 23 or 24, then you'll get the opportunities if you're good enough. And that's what I want to see. So guys, that's the 3 stories for today. What do you think about the Saudi takeover? Are you guys worried about it? Do you think that is going to make Newcastle a force, or do you welcome the competition? Roman Abramovich, are you happy to see him back in London? Do you think that this is the start of him coming to London more often? And Loftus Cheek, are you happy with the way things are going for him? And do you think that other youngsters need to be more patient in the future? Or do you think they need to go to past the new and maybe come back later on, similar to what Liverpool meant to maybe doing? We know we've got that buyback clause with him. Do you think that was the right move for him, or do you think he should have stayed and fought for his place at Chelsea? Stick your comments in the section below. I'd love to hear from you guys. So until the next time, don't forget, like, subscribe, turn on all post notifications so you'll be notified every time we make a video. Until then, guys, take care. Bye-bye. Hey guys, and welcome to another edition of Burton Borders. So once again, we lose 1-0. And once again, a toothless performance by Chelsea. And in today's Player Watch, I'm going to be focusing on Lukaku, and I'm going to be asking the question, has our attack got weaker since Lukaku has joined the club?